Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Wow. So exciting. Do you notice what's missing tonight? Teleprompters. No teleprompters. We don't want teleprompters. That would be so much easier. We read a speech for 45 minutes. Everybody falls asleep, listening to the same old stuff, the same old lies. So much easier. So, you know, I have a little debate coming up on Wednesday. And I hear let's call them opponents. Can we call them opponents? We're allowed to do that, right? You know, New York was very nice to you people last night. You know that, right? Did they hand you that game? They handed. I said, I am going to have the friendliest audience. Sit down. I am going to have the friendliest audience afterwards. So I wasn't sure, was I happy or was I sad? But Jerry Jones is a great guy, and he deserves everything he gets, frankly. And you know, another great guy is Mark Cuban. True. And I think, you know, he's been talking a little bit about maybe someday doing this himself. And I think he'd do very well. We may not have the exact same feelings about where we're going, but that's okay. But Mark was great. He actually called me, like literally a few days ago, and said, you know, if you want to use the arena, which is, by the way, a beautiful arena. This is a great arena. And Dirk, I love him. He's one of my favorite players. One of my favorites. And the Mavericks have been fantastic, and you know, just a great team. But he said, if you want to use the arena, I said, Mark, when? How about Monday night? It's like, that was like in 4 days. And you had a big holiday in between. And he said, I think, you know, they really like you in Dallas. They really like you in Texas. Maybe you can get a lot of people. Because we were coming here and we thought maybe we'd get 1,000, but we never get 1,000 anymore. It's always like the same thing. You know, we went to Alabama. We started off with a 500-person ballroom. And after about 2 minutes, look at all these guys, paparazzi. Ay, ay, ay. Look at this. We got everybody here. We started off, by the way, with a 500-person ballroom, and after about 2 minutes, the hotel called up begging for mercy. We can't do it. They were inundated. So we went to the convention center, and that was 10,000, and that was wiped out in about an hour. So we went to a stadium. We had 31,000 people, which is by far the largest. They say like ever for an early primary. It's probably true. And this is sort of comparable. When I see these seats full up the top, can you people see me up there? I don't know. Man. I said to him, don't fill up the upper rings. It's not fair. But they're filled. You are great. Thank you all. I appreciate it. So I want to thank Mark, and I want to thank, where is Pastor Jeffress? He's around here someplace. What a good guy. Where is he? Well, come here. I love this guy. Come here. I shouldn't say this. I should not say this, Pastor, because, you know, I need all the help I can get. And I will say I'm leading with the evangelicals big league, and I really want to thank you because you've been so good. He said he may not be perfect, but he's going to make this country great. He's a leader. That's what we need. And I want to thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, man. See you in a couple of weeks.
Very good. I really appreciate it. He's been so great. And I am Protestant. I am Presbyterian, just in case anybody wants to know. So the polls come out, and we're really killing it. We are killing it. They mentioned a little while ago, Scotty, about the silent majority. It's back, and it's not silent. I think we should call it, maybe we should call it the noisy, the aggressive, the wanting to win majority. That's what it is. We want to win. We're tired of being pushed around by incompetent people. We're just tired of what's happening. We're sick and tired of what's happening. And it's going to change. It's going to change. But before I get to that, because that's unpleasant, but it's going to be pleasant, because I finished a speech last week, and I have to say, we're going to have so many victories that at some point, they're just going to be coming out of your ears. Oh, I have to be careful what I say about coming out of somebody's ears. Have to be careful. Nose, ears, eyes, those are the only places I'm talking about. The only. But we're going to have so many victories, and they're going to be great victories. And we're going to have them all the time, because we have an amazing country. We have a country that is dying. They just want to have victory. We don't have wins anymore. We don't have it. So, the debate. I hear they're all going after me. Whatever. No, I hear it. Everybody, you know, all these geniuses, the talking heads, and some are great. Actually, some have come around. You know, at the beginning, 3-4 months ago, well, he's just doing this for fun. He's doing this for his brand. I need this, like, for my brand, okay? But he's doing it for his brand. One person, a real loser, said, he's a clown. Now they're saying, oh, how do we stop this guy? No more clown. I haven't heard the word clown in a while. Tell you, they don't use that word anymore. They don't use it. There's a group of pundits out there. I don't think they're smart. I think they pretend they're smart. You know, they wear the heavy glasses, and they look, and they look. I'm not talking about Perry, who happens to be a nice guy. Really. He is a nice guy. But he came after me hard, didn't he? Yeah. You know, I had dinner with him a couple of years ago. I thought he was terrific, and then he came after me very hard. And you know, I gave him a really good, I said, it's sort of easy. When somebody drops out of a race, I'm going to say good about everybody. Everybody. But I like that man, and frankly, he tried. But I'm talking about the guys that sit around the tables, and they talk about us. They talk about me. And they say, well, but most of them are now saying, we think he's going to win. You know, can you believe it? Now, we still have a few out there. The hatred is so incredible. It's so incredible. Absolute hatred. I watch some of these guys, like this guy. Should I mention names? Okay, I will. The problem is, when I mention them, they can never, ever support me. That's the problem. And you know, look at all those live television feeds. It's always tough. Every time I speak, they put me on live television, so I have to make different speeches. These guys go around, they make the same speech hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Nobody cares. It's true. It's true. It's true. You know, you got CNN Live, you got them all. And who need... No, they're 50% good. 50%. They've been pretty nice. But you know, who really, when you think about it, who has to do this? So I come out today. How many live feeds you have? Many. Look at all those cameras back there. Take a look, everybody. Now, if you like the media, give them a big hand. And if you don't, give them a big boo. I had a feeling. You know, the truth is, there's some really great people. I'm dealing usually in the world of financial. That's easier. It's like numbers. You're either good, you're not good. You know, it's sort of much easier. But I found the press to be much more honorable in the financial media. But the political media, and I found some great ones. There are some great ones. But should I mention some? No, I'm not going to do that either. Because then you're going to leave some out. But, okay. So, George Will is a disaster. The guy's a disaster. Honestly. Another one, Karl Rove. No, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's terrible. He still thinks that Mitt Romney won. He's still going around saying, I think he won. This guy raised, think of this. He ought to be in Wall Street. He raises money pretty well. He raised last cycle, the last presidential election. He raised $434 million and didn't win one race. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? And I understand it because I saw some of the commercials that he made. I saw a commercial he made against Barack Obama. And I called up, I said, who did that commercial? It's one of the best commercials I've ever seen. I got to use that firm. They're phenomenal. But I didn't realize it was against Obama. It was so good for Obama. That was the one with Germany and this. Remember, do you want a rock star? Do you want a... I said, he's not a rock star. We have an incompetent president. This is not a rock star. We have a president that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So Karl Rove, every night, you know, some of these guys like George Will and Karl Rove and a few others, but those I mentioned, they're like anybody in the real estate business, right? A couple of us. I love real estate. And let me just tell you, one of the great people in sort of the, Andy Beal, Beal Bank. Stand up, Andy. Stand up. Come on, he's a shy man. He's only worth about $6 billion. He's a great guy. He's been a great friend of mine. I don't want to borrow any money from him because he expects it to be paid back in full and on time. Right, Andy? But you look at some of these guys, and they're like boilers, okay? Real estate. They're like boilers. Bill O'Reilly the other night said to, and Bill O'Reilly's a good guy, great guy. He is a good guy, great guy. Although he's tough, and he's tough with me, that I can tell you. Some people say, how can you say he's a great guy, but he's fair? But I saw Karl Rove on a show the other night, and the name Trump came up, and you could see it was like a boiler ready to explode. I think the guy is a total incompetent jerk. But him, and there are others. But I would say this, anybody that gives him, Karl Rove, and others, the group of losers, anybody that gives them money, you're losers yourself. Doesn't make sense because they don't know what they're doing. So the polls come out and everybody's surging but Trump. They don't want to say I'm surging. I went up to 40% today in New Hampshire. You saw that. 40%. Second is, I think, 11 or 12, right? 11 or 12. And I won't mention names because he's actually a nice guy. I'll mention names. Why shouldn't I? Should I? Yes. Right? It's Ben Carson. He's a nice man. I think he's in second place at 11 or 12%. Now, I'm at 40, and it's actually 41, but they don't want to say that. They don't want to give me the little benefit of a couple of... You know, if I'm 40.9, they'll say I'm at 40. Do you understand that? So Ben Carson, good guy, I think he's 11 or 12, and they're saying, Carson, here's the headline, Carson surging. I said, what about me? Where's my name? I'm at 40. Where's my name? It's unbelievable. Do you know where my name is? They don't know where my name is either. By the way, can you see in the back? They have the best view. Can you see it's really my hair? Well, that's the other thing. I mean, I get killed on that. I had an article recently. It's true. They have the best view. They know. not that bad, right? I mean, I have friends, it's over. I have many friends, the hair is over. But I had the article the other day, a great article. They said Trump is a financial genius, right? They said all good things. They said he's doing great here. But they said he wears the worst hairpiece I've ever, the writer said this, wears the worst hairpiece. And I said, that's terrible. So I can't show the article to anybody, even though it was a good article. But in the polls, it's been so amazing. We started off, and everybody said, you remember this, I won't run. I won't run. And I said, why are they saying that? I'm telling you, I'm going to run. NBC came over, and as you know, and I like NBC. You know, for years we had The Apprentice, who was a tremendous success, one of the great successes on television. And the head of Comcast, I'll just tell you, his first name is Steve, and he's a phenomenal guy. Steve Burke, one of the great people, a great, great guy and a great manager. He came over with a group of people from NBC. Steve's one of the, he's the head of Comcast. And they said, we're going to renew The Apprentice. And by the way, it's a lot of money. Did you see in my certified financial statement what I made with The Apprentice? When I give up The Apprentice, I made $213 million. Can you believe it? From a television show. And I had these announcers say, oh no, I think he only made $1 million. And guys like Joe Scarborough, who's a good guy, right? Yeah. He said, no, he's got a primetime show for years. I mean, it's got to be. Anyway, when they checked it, 200. So NBC renews The Apprentice, and I told them, don't do it, because I'm running for president. I'm going to make our country great again. Don't renew it. Now, if I make $213 million over a, run of 12 years or whatever, that's a lot of money. Even for me, it's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's pretty good, right? Considering it's not my main business. But I made this money, and the people come up and they say, oh, well, we're going to renew it anyway because he's not going to run. So NBC renewed The Apprentice. They announced that they renewed it. They said that Donald Trump will do another season, and I told them not to do it. Then I told them that I'm not doing it again. And they went in the upfronts arena, and they were so angry at me. They were so angry. But you know what? I give up a lot when I do this. I give up a lot. I miss all of these deals. I love my business. I love what I'm doing. Andy can tell you that. Tom Benenson can tell you that. I love Club Corporation of America, by the way, in case you have never heard of Tom Benenson. But I lose a lot. Not only I don't do The Apprentice and get paid a fortune, it's also I lose opportunity, all these deals. I have a deal in China. I have deals all over the place that I could do. Boo, boo. But it's true. It's like picking up a check. It's like picking up a check. But I give up a lot. When a politician, all talk, no action, politician runs, what do they give up? They give up nothing. They run. You know what? They run, they lose, they win, they don't care. All they want to do is be reelected or run again if they fail, right? With me, it's a whole big deal. It's a whole big deal. And I'm self-funding my campaign. I'm not taking all of this blood money. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I feel a little bit awkward and a little stupid. I have guys offering me millions and millions of dollars. When you're in number one place, then the bloodsuckers come out. The lobbyists, the special interests, the donors. Don, we love you. Guys I haven't heard from in 10 years. Don, we love you. 40% in New Hampshire, winning Iowa. We're killing in Iowa. Incredible people. New Hampshire, incredible people. South Carolina, incredible people, incredible numbers there too. We're winning in Florida. Think of it. You have Jeb Bush, governor of Florida. You have a sitting senator in Florida, Marco Rubio. And the poll comes out the other day, Trump is leading in Florida. Can you imagine? Big league. How about this? Have you ever heard of the great state of Texas? Leading in Texas. How does that happen? So it's been an amazing period of time. I've never experienced anything like it. And I've been well known for a long period of time. That's why I got chosen for The Apprentice in the first place. And in fact, I don't know if you just heard, they called me up today, NBC. Couldn't be nicer. You know, they finally calmed down. I settled my lawsuit with them. Did you hear? Did you hear? Yes, she heard. I settled my lawsuit with them last week. A lot of litigation, settled it. They couldn't have been nicer. And they called me today and wanted everything, you know, they want me on their side. And I am on their side, because I really like the guys at NBC. And they have announced, or will soon announce, you know who's going to take the place of Trump? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Good, right? I think it's a good choice. And he's a friend of mine. And I approve it 100%, and I'm with him 100%, and I think he's going to do great, and we'll raise a lot of money for charity. You know, I'm still in there because I have a big chunk of it. A lot of people don't know that. These are minor details. But I think Arnold is going to do great. And so they just announced today that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be doing The Apprentice, because I'm not allowed to do it because I'm doing this. So I wish Arnold well. We have so many problems in this country. We'll talk about a few of them. And we'll celebrate, because ultimately we're going to have victory. We're going to have victory. This is a movement that's happening. I had a lawyer come up to see me a little while ago. He said, Mr. Trump, I've been doing this for 35 years. I've never seen what's happened here. I got a call from a writer from the New York Times. I have great respect for the New York Times. And he called up somebody, I know, I hear that, but it's okay. This is a good story, not a bad story. And he said, could I ask you a question? I said, what? Very powerful writer, actually. He said, how does it feel? I said, how does what feel? He said, what you've done has never, ever been done before. You've dominated, you've taken over the polls, you've taken over, you know, on television, on Fox and CNN, they call it all Trump all the time. Can you believe it? All Trump all the time. And by the way, their ratings are through the roof. If they weren't, they wouldn't put me on, I'll be honest with you. It's a very simple formula in entertainment and television. If you get good ratings, and these aren't good, these are monster, then you're going to be on all the time, even if you have nothing to say. If you come up with a cure for a major, horrendous disease, and if you don't get ratings, they won't bother even reporting. It's very simple business. It's very simple. So we've gone on, we've had a lot of fun, and now it's time to really start, because this is going to happen, I'm telling you. I'm not going anywhere. Somebody said, today, we're not going anywhere. Somebody said today, you've done so well, you don't have to go any further. I said, are you crazy? You know what? The writer at the Times told me. He said, it's been amazing what you've done. I said, but I haven't won. We haven't won anything. What if I won? I mean, I'm having fun and all, but I haven't won. There's been no victory. He said, it doesn't matter. What you've done is incredible. You have won. I said, you're wrong. Unless I win, it's been a waste of time for me, folks. I'll be honest with you. It's been a total waste of time. I really mean that, too. We should have won. Thank you. He said, you will win. We should have won last time. Mitt Romney let us down. I mean, he let us down. He let us down. You know, one of the things that I'm really happy about, I'm surging, they said. Can you believe this one? I'm surging with women. Can you believe it? I have such respect for women. I cherish women. I'm going to take such good care of women's health care issues, you won't even believe it. But I'm surging with women. One of the things coming out, I'm watching television, and they said, Trump is surging with women. I said, really? That's amazing. You know, it's incredible. I'll make like statements because, you know, Carly's giving me a little bit of a hard time, even though her poll numbers are horrible. She's the one. She was another one. She's surging. Ben is, everybody's surging but me. Hillary's not surging, I tell you that. They're not saying that. They're not saying, thank you. Hillary is not surging. Look, I like Carly, and I like Ben, and I like many of the people that I'm running against. I mean, many of these people are terrific people. But nobody's going to be able to do the job that I'm going to do. Nobody. They won't. They won't. Don't forget, I love these people back there. But they won't. I mean, what I do is I do deals. I deal. I have tremendous energy, tremendous, to a point where it's almost ridiculous when you think about it. But we need somebody with great energy, with great passion, with great deal-making skills. And we need a closer. We need closers. We don't have closers. We just don't have closers. And honestly, they're not deal people. I'll tell you, they're good at raising money for their PACs or whatever the hell they're not supposed to do that, but most of them are doing it anyway. It's illegal as hell, but I think they're doing it anyway. You ever notice you hear they have money in the PAC, but they don't have hard money, but the PAC is giving them. I say, what's going on over here? I'm not allowed. How come I can't talk to anybody? And again, I have to tell you this, and I want to have your opinion. So I'm self-funding, I told you. But if I took hundreds of millions, I tell you what, I could have $200 million so fast. If I took that, would you people object if I promised not to do anything from the people I took it from? No. I had a group in Iowa, actually, they were much more vocal about this one issue. And they stood up, no, the place, I mean, I realize how important it is. Putting your own money in, because, you know, I'm telling people that Jeb, nice guy, really a nice guy. Jeb, Hillary. Well, Jeb's more popular than one person I know. But all of them, I don't want to go through the names, they have money put up in PACs or hard money, whatever, wherever the money is. Believe me, I was the king. I was the king. You know, I was the white-haired, no, blonde-haired, let's say blonde. But I was the blonde-haired, I was perfect. I was the ultimate. I was the ultimate sort of insider. I'd put up money. They loved me. But then when I said I'm running, they all looked at me like, the RNC, Reince is a great guy, but it took them a little while because they looked at me like, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be putting up money. And if you need something in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, they'll do whatever you want. And what happened is, I know the system, I think, better than anybody. I know the tax system. Look, taxes. Who knows better than me? We're going to reduce taxes. We're going to make the hedge fund guy, any hedge fund guys, it would be mostly in this room. Oh, you got good seats. Are there any hedge fund guys in this room? If there are, you should probably leave right now. That's okay. But I have a friend in the hedge fund business. Not really a friend. Not actually a nice guy, but he'd be good representing us, I will tell you. Because by the time I finish, he may not have much of a hedge fund left. But I said, what did you make last year? He said, about 250 million. Can you, this is serious. I said, oh, it's a lot of money. What did you pay in taxes? He goes, Don, practically nothing. That was a couple of years ago. I never forgot it. The other day, he calls me up because he hears me talking about hedge fund guys are going to pay up. And he calls me up the other day. I was only kidding. You know, when I said that, I was sort of, he doesn't know what to do. The truth is they'll do just fine. They're going to do just fine because we're going to make the country so successful, they'll do just fine. They'll end up doing better. They'll end up doing better. But we got to lower taxes for a lot of people. Corporations paying far too much, far too much. Middle-income people are being decimated. They're being decimated. I mean, we have a group of 200 guys, but the middle income in this country is being decimated, and we're going to change it. We're going to change it. So I'll be announcing over the next 3 or so weeks, I'll be announcing, I think, a great tax plan. I know the tax code. I know everything about it, probably as well as anybody there is, right? And we're going to be doing something that's going to be really pro-growth, really reduction in taxes. We're going to get the $2.5 trillion that's in other countries. We're going to get it back. They can't. No, we're going to get it back. And, you know, you have corporate inversion. Does anybody know what that means? You know, in the old days, people might leave New York for Texas, or they may go from New Jersey to Florida, or whatever. It's not that way anymore. Now they go from this country to other countries. And they go for two reasons: lower taxes, lower labor, but lower taxes. You have countries that want to charge them nothing. So they take these companies, and these guys, they make a fortune. They have no real loyalty, in many cases. They have no real loyalty to the United States. They want to show a good profit and loss statement. So they take and they go to another country, and all of a sudden their numbers look good. And they can't bring their money back in. And by the way, for 2.5, 3 years, I've seen every politician agrees that we should lower the tax on bringing money, because it's so onerous that nobody in this room would bring that money back. Everybody says it. For 2.5 years, the Democrats, the Republicans, the liberals, the conservatives, everybody, they can't make a deal. They can't make a deal. We have a government that's really messed up because we don't have a leader at the top. A right leader could get it done. The right leader will get it done, and you will see numbers like you'd never have seen before. I actually believe that, and we're in trouble. You know, I've made the statement, and I've said this before, the American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before. I've made that statement. And I'll tell you what happens, and it happens a lot. The other day I went home, and I said to my wife, "What's wrong?" "Oh, darling, you were very tough." "What? What did I do?" Because, of course, it's live television. She said, "You said the American dream is dead." I said, "No, I said the American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before." She said, "No, you didn't. You just said it's dead." So I turn on television. It's wonderful now you can record this stuff, right? See it 10 hours later. I turn on television, and it's me standing in this big crowd. "The American dream is dead." Cluck. I said, "Oh." Horrible. Great book. Again, the dishonest media. You know, I went ballistic. I was so angry. But the American dream, it's going to be better. I'll tell you what, we can make it better than ever before. We can do, I mean, we're in Texas. We can do things with oil and gas that will be unbelievable. 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 Try sending your oil outside of the boundaries of the United States. How ridiculous. And we're sitting on top because of technology. We can be the #1 energy producer in the world. Right here in the United States. But we have archaic laws. We have, everything's wrong. And I have so many friends in the energy business. They're great people. They're working. They're not as rich as they were about 2 months ago, but these are minor details. They'll be fine. But we can do things with energy that will be so, so incredible, which is great for Texas, but it's great for the country. It's great for the country. Now, China, Japan, true. You can't be upset with China or Japan or Mexico. Can't be upset with anyone. You know, when I announced for the presidency, it was very interesting what happened. I made a beautiful speech. I thought it was wonderful. Everything was fine. About a week and a half later, they attacked me. In other words, they went through, and then they lied. They made it up. And they talked about, I'm talking about illegal immigration. And I brought up a subject called illegal immigration. And I just saw backstage some of the families who were decimated. Their families were decimated. Their sons, their daughters killed by illegal immigrants. And it's a massive problem. We have to stop illegal immigration. We have to do it. We have to do it. Have to do it. And when I hear some of the people that I'm running against, including the Democrats, we have to build a wall, folks. We have to build a wall. And a wall works. All you have to do is go to Israel, say, how's your wall working? Walls work. And I want people to come into the country, but I want them to be legal. I want them to go through the process. I want them to come in. I want to have a big, beautiful door. But they have to be legal. They have to be. And if they're not going to be, they can't come in. And I'll tell you what, the first thing we do, you know, people don't realize, you look at crime in Chicago, you look at crime in so many different places, and you see gangs. Many of these gang members are illegal immigrants. They're rough dudes. They will be out of here so frickin' fast. And I think a lot of these countries send them in here because they don't want them. Because what do they want them in prison for 40 years? Look. Whether it's any country, their leaders are smarter than our leaders. They're more cunning. They're tougher. They're better. And we take them. Kate in San Francisco, this magnificent young woman, shot in the back by a guy that was sent over here, probably pushed over, who knows? But he was an illegal immigrant. Came over, went to San Francisco. We have to end this sanctuary cities crap fast. So he admits he's guilty. Now he's got a lawyer. Oh, well, he didn't really know. He wasn't aiming there. It was a ricochet, blah, blah, blah. It's disgusting what's happening to our country. We are a dumping ground for the rest of the world. We are a dumping ground. And let me tell you something. The whole subject of anchor babies. Did you hear that character from one of the networks? Anchor baby is just really not a nice term. I said, what would you do? What would you say? And he gives me like a 12-word definition. I said, no, we'll have to use anchor baby. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but when a man has a problem and he's got his wife or his girlfriend and they move her over to the border for one day, has the baby on the other side of the border, our side, now that baby is a citizen of our country for however long the baby lives, hopefully a long. It's wrong. It's wrong. And by the way, the law doesn't call that. That's not what the law says. And people are finding out now that I'm right. We didn't say that somebody could be pregnant for 9 months, come across the border, have a baby, and now it's ours, and we have to take care of the baby forever. It doesn't say that. It does not say it. So we have to straighten out. We have to straighten out our act. We're going to have a great country. We're going to have a great border. We're going to have a border that's a real border. You people are suffering. I mean, you know, I'm in New York, but from New York, too. They're all over the place. We want people to be in our country legally. Legally. And we want great people, too. We want people of achievement. If you go to Harvard or Stanford or the Wharton School of Finance or any of these schools or Yale, and you're the top in your class, you graduate, you want to stay in the United States and you want to have your career here. You can't. They throw you out. They put you back in China. They send you back to Mexico. Those are the people. We need those people. We need them in Silicon Valley. We need them in Manhattan. We need them in Dallas. We need them. Why are we throwing them out? They want to be in this country, and we throw them out. So we have so many things we can do. So many things we can do. Now, I'll give you a little thing that happened the other day. I made a speech on behalf of the Tea Party. And by the way, the Tea Party people are fantastic people. Okay? They are fantastic people. They love the country so much. And you talk about people that get decimated. They just get decimated by the media. These are fantastic people. They love this country. These are the people that we want. But I look at what's going on, and I look at what's happening, and I made a speech in Washington the other day for the Tea Party. And your senator, too, by the way, Senator Cruz, who happens to be a good guy. Good guy. Now, if he comes out and attacks me on Wednesday night, I will take it back immediately, okay? But he is a good guy. So I'm standing there, and the Capitol building has this massive scaffolding around it, right? Have you seen it? Massive. I said, man, that's a big deal. As a real estate guy, the thing I do best is build. Hey, wouldn't it be good to have a president that really knows how to build? Like, I'm so good at it. Infrastructure, roads, airports, highways. I could do it for a fraction. You know, I'm building the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue. Under budget, ahead of schedule. Can you believe that? And I got it from the Obama administration. And everybody else wanted it. Which I still haven't figured out, actually. But it's going to be a great hotel. But they're doing the Capitol building. And it's got massive, massive scaffolding. And we're having, in 2016, you know, we're going to have a thing called, like, an election, right? And they say that this massive scaffolding, I heard this the other day from a construction firm that's involved in the job, that this massive scaffolding, they want to have it for the inauguration. Wouldn't that be nice for me? But they want to have all the scaffolding down, but they can't do the work because they don't have enough time. They have so much time. What are they doing? Caulking, pointing, fixing, structure. What the hell are they doing? It's not a big deal. So they're going to take all of the scaffolding down, pay millions of dollars to do that, millions. And then after the inauguration, they're going to put it back up again and pay millions of dollars more. You believe that? Right? Now I say, do it simpler. Get them to work faster. Do you agree? I like the idea. No. I like the idea of the scaffolding being down when they're swearing me in. I do. I don't want to see all this scaffolding all over the place. I want to see that beautiful rotunda. I want to see it. I love it. Such a beautiful building. But you know what? I told them, I said, why don't you just move faster? Work faster. Get it done. So you take it down, you don't have to put it up. They said, we never thought of that. Believe it? But they're going to take it down. They're going to take it down. I hear the contract's order. So they're going to take it down, then put it back up. Can you believe this? So let me tell you, I'm going to save my first money for the United States. If I win, I will let the scaffolding stay up, okay? All right? I'll let it stay up. We'll save millions of dollars. So in the pictures, they'll have some scaffolding. They can probably nowadays do something with that anyway. So in the pictures, we'll have some scaffolding. So, not if I win. I love this woman. Stand up. What did you just say? Not if you win, when you win. So a story I tell is a friend of mine who's a big manufacturer, great guy. Can't do business with China. Can't get his stuff in there. He calls me, he's depressed. He says to me, Donald, I can't deal with China. And he's a good guy. He does great stuff, better than they do. He said, I can't sell it. They don't take it. Finally, they're taking it. They're charging him a massive tax. A massive tax. Another friend of mine recently, he bought an airplane. He's a rich guy. Bought, like for these people here. They probably all have this, but a really good plane. I said, why did you sell your old one? Get in? He said, well, what happened is a man from China ordered a plane, and he can't get it back into China because the tax is humongous. So he's selling it cheap. The guy from China took a haircut because the tax is so big. You don't know about these stories. And yet we take everything they have, no tax, free market. Now, Japan. Japan sells us millions of cars. I was in Los Angeles a few weeks ago. The biggest ships I've ever seen, ever. Thousands of cars are pouring off. We give them beef. And they don't want it. Do you ever see where the farmers are protesting? They don't want it. So we send it back. By the time it goes back again, it's all gone. It's done. Mexico. Everybody's moving to Mexico. You know that, right? Do you know that? So many people moving to Mexico. I love Mexico. I love Mexico. I have hundreds and hundreds and thousands, actually, of people that are Mexican. They work for me. They're great people. But their leaders are smart. They're smart. So we have Nabisco the other day, Oreos. I refuse to eat Oreos anymore. They're moving their plant to Mexico from Chicago. Why? How does it help us? How does it help us? Ford, $2.5 billion plant being built in Mexico for cars and trucks and everything. And I said the other day, it's actually not a bad idea because they can build a car, build a truck, and they can have the illegals drive it right across the border. Nobody's going to check them. They'll save a fortune. They'll save a fortune. So I don't want them spending $2.5 billion. That's a hell of a plant. By the way, in Tennessee, another major car company, all set to go in Tennessee. At the last moment, they said, we're not going to go to Tennessee, we're going to Mexico. It's going to become like the car capital of the world. So what happens is Ford, $2.5 billion plant. Now, I said, what would Jeb Bush or Hillary Clinton do if they were president? Because you got to remember what I said. They're controlled by the people that gave them the money. Totally. By the lobbyists, by the special interests. So, but they're smart. They'd say, we don't like this deal. We're going to end it. And then they'd be called by their lobbyists and say, Hillary, we gave you millions of dollars, and I represent Ford, or whatever the company it is. And we don't want you to do that. It's no good. We don't want you to do that. And you know what they're going to say? Okay, I'll let them build it. Now compare that. First of all, believe me, that plant doesn't get built there. It gets built right next to, it might not be here. It's going to be maybe in Michigan where they're just being decimated with the plants. They're being decimated. Everybody's leaving. They're going to Mexico and other places. So I said to myself, what would Bush do? What would Hillary do? And what would Trump do? First of all, who would you rather have negotiating? Jeb or Trump? Believe me. How about this? Hillary, who, by the way, was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our country. If you think about it. Would you rather have Hillary negotiating? Or would you rather have Trump? Okay. So let's say, you know what Jeb does, you know what Hillary does. The plant gets built, no problem, don't worry about it. What the hell, it's only about 10,000 jobs or whatever it was, billions of dollars. And our country's being drained. Our jobs are being stolen by all these countries. And not just them, all of them. So what would President Trump do? President Trump. Trump. Okay. What would President Trump do? So I'd call the head of Ford or whatever company, but I'd call the head of Ford. I'd say, congratulations, I understand you're building a massive plant in Mexico, and you're taking a lot of jobs away from us in Michigan and other places. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And he'll say, well, Mr. President, it's wonderful, wonderful for the economy. Oh, great, just great. It's wonderful for whose economy? Not for our economy. We lose on everything. We lose on jobs. We lose on money. We lose on everything. So what I'd say is the following. I don't want you to do that. And if you do it, you're not going to have any cars coming across the border unless you pay a 35% tax. That's it. That's it. No, that's it. And they're going to say to me, Mr. President, please, please, please. Now, I guarantee you, let's say I make this call at 9 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I think the deal is done. They move back to the United States. It may take a half a day longer. It may be 12 o'clock the following day. But I guarantee you, but what will happen is I'll be called by lobbyists, but they're not giving me any money. I won't take it. I turned down $5 million last week. $5 million. I say, I can't take it. You know, I go like this. I just close my eyes. You know, it's really sort of not natural to me to turn down money. Does that make sense? But I turn it down because once I know the game, once they give you, you sort of owe them, right? You know, how can you tell a guy, you know, you gave me $5 million, you helped me get elected, and I'm going to hurt you with your client. So what happens, I would say, is that I will get a call from the head of Ford, and he'll say, Mr. Trump, you're doing the wrong thing. I say, all right, that's fine. Just do it. Just do what I say. Do what I say. And I guarantee you, after I tell all the lobbyists, special interests, and people that donate to everybody else but me because I won't take their money, after I tell them all no, within a short period of time, they'll call up and they'll say, Mr. President, we've decided to move our plant back to the United States, sir. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So just a couple of more points, and, you know, it's depressing. Isn't it depressing? You know, we're together, we love each other, but it's like depressing if you think about it, because it doesn't end. I could stand up here all night long. I could tell you stories. They're all depressing. But the good news is they can all be remedied, every one of them. They can be remedied. So, Iran deal. Iran deal. They did not read that great book. Where's that book? The Art of the Deal. They did not read it. Secretary of State Kerry. He actually may go down as worse than Hillary Clinton because he made this deal. He may be the worst. He may top her because this deal is the all-time worst. We're giving them think of this. We're actually giving them $150 billion. Now think of it. Now think of it. We don't have the right to inspect. We have to wait 24 days, but before the clock starts ticking, we have to go through this whole process. I mean, they could build their nuclear whatever, distribute them, and have plenty of time left over to clean the place up. So you have a 24-day period, not any time, anywhere, which is what it should be. Think of another thing. They have one instance where in a very major area, they self-inspect. Now, can you believe this? They do their own inspections. They do their own inspections. And another thing, look, having a good deal, we should have doubled the sanctions, let them wait for another month or two. They would have come, we would have had a deal like you've ever seen. We have our chief negotiator, Secretary Kerry, at 73 years old, goes into a bicycle race. Now think of it. He's wearing the whole gear, the helmet, he thinks he's in a bicycle race. He's actually in a race. It wasn't just casual, I could understand that. This is a guy that's in a bicycle race. 73 years old, all the gear, falls, breaks his leg in the middle of our thing. Takes 2 weeks off, goes back with crutches. The people from Iran say, what a schmuck. Can you believe it? No, but this is who we negotiate with. Now think of this. It's embarrassing. Isn't it like embarrassing? I swear to you that if I'm elected president, I will never go into a bicycle race, I swear. So, But you know, one of the things that so bothers me, it would be great to have a deal because nuclear is a bad, bad thing. When you talk about global warming, all this stuff, you know, Obama thinks the single biggest threat in the world today is global warming. Okay? Can you believe it? Then they changed it to climate change because the word global warming wasn't working. Then they changed it to extreme weather. You can't get hurt with extreme weather. Do you agree? It's always going to be, there's a tornado, there's a little cold, there's a wind. It's always extreme. He said the biggest threat we have is extreme weather. And I say, in terms of global warming, the biggest threat we have is nuclear global warming because we have incompetent politicians. That's the biggest threat we have. Not global warming, nuclear global warming. That's the biggest threat we have, believe me. So, with Iran, believe me, if I get in, you know, I'm a person, I believe in contracts, but boy, this one barely, I will police that thing, that horrible. I buy a lot of, I buy people where they go down the tubes. I buy bad contracts. I love to buy bad contracts, then I make them good. But I'll take that contract. I will do a number of those guys, and I'm telling them up front, we will do a number that will make you very proud. We're going to end up with a good deal one way or the other. One way or the other. And before I ever, if I win, in that little period, before I take office, you know what I'm going to say. Our prisoners, those prisoners that Iran has, that should have been let go 2 years ago and should have never even been prisoners, one of them is a prisoner because he's a Christian. He's a Christian pastor. One's a member of the press. You have a military. This is the most incredible thing. Another's a journalist. So it was 3 people, but then they took another one. So now it's 4. Now, Secretary Kerry and President Obama, when asked about why didn't we at least get our prisoners back, we got nothing. They're going to be a rich terrorist state. They are going to do numbers throughout the world. We're fighting them in Yemen. We're fighting them in so many different places. They didn't want to bring that up either. But when they said, why didn't you get our prisoners back? They said, we didn't want to complicate the negotiation. Think of it. Think of it. So what I said is very simple. If you had the right messenger, not Kerry, not Obama, if you had the right messenger, that messenger, let's say it's me. And by the way, I know the greatest negotiators in the world. And you've heard me say it.